Hello and welcome back to today's video. In the last video, we talked about the different tips and tricks you can use to search the MLS. Today, we're going to talk about how you can generate an auto email. So after thinking a little bit more about this video regarding auto emails, I decided I should split this up into three parts. 1, creating the auto email. 2, managing your auto email. And 3, concierge mode emails and how to manage those. So we're going to split this section into 3 parts just so that we don't have too long of a video for you guys. Now, what is an auto email? An auto email is what it sounds like. It's an automatic system generated email that gets sent to a specified client based off of the search parameters you've laid out. And this means that any listing that comes on the MLS that matches this criteria, or any listing that has an update that matches your criteria, will be included in this email for your client. So this is going to allow you to automate the process, give you more time back in your day, and make things much easier for you moving forward. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So first, let's run a quick search to kick off our auto email. So we're going to look for active and coming soon listings in the system. And we are also going to be looking in the Kaka'ako area. So I'm going to start to type in that neighborhood name and I'm going to select it from the drop down. But our client also is interested in looking in the Ala Moana area. So to add that second neighborhood, I'm going to add a comma and I'm going to start to write Ala Moana out. There we go. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is price. So our client has been very clear with their budget. They would like to spend no more than $1 million. So we're going to start by writing out 1,000, and then we're going to put a minus sign after it to indicate to the system only return properties that are under $1 million. And then we're going to start with the bedrooms. Our client is looking for a minimum of 2. And then for bathrooms, they are looking for a minimum of 2 bathrooms so that everybody has their own. And they want no more than 4 because they don't want to have to clean all those bathrooms. Okay. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to say we are looking for a fee simple property. And we're also going to add some additional fields because our client definitely wants a patio or deck or lanai. And that is under the amenities additional field that I added earlier in a previous video. So we're going to go in and look for patio and deck, and we're going to add that to our search criteria. And I know I did that fast, but if you are looking for additional tips or tricks on how to search the MLS, please refer back to that last video we created going over the tips and tricks to searching the MLS. Okay, and that's how you can do any of those things that we just went over today. So the next thing I'm going to do, I see that we have 18 matches, is I'm going to hit the results button and I'm going to search the building name field by clicking on the building name header. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove 1350 Ala Moana from our search, and that's 2, 4, 6 different properties. So how to do that is I'm going to go back to the criteria tab and I'm going to start to type in 1350 Ala Moana. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an exclamation point in front of that to omit any properties that match with 1350 Ala Moana that are currently in the system or that come up in the system in the future. Now, when I do that, we can see there are 12 matches, so I'm going to go to that results section. Now, if you're ever wondering the search criteria that you used, you are going to be able to find that up here in the action bar section, but you're also going to be able to find it down here under the action bar tab. Okay, so this is what your action bar is. And where you're going to want to go in your action bar is over from refine to save. And in the save section, you're going to have new auto email. You're going to want to click on that new auto email button, and this is where you're going to start to generate your new auto email. Okay, I know I went through searching the MLS and adding in your criteria really quickly, but that's because our focus today is auto emails and creating them. So if you need to learn how to add a contact into the MLS system, I highly recommend you going back through our new agent video playlist and watching that new agent video where I showed you how to add in a contact in numerous ways. So we're going to go ahead and select John and Jane Doe in this example. As you can see, I do have 2 contacts in here, right? 2 emails are associated with this client contact card. We've got Jane Doe and we've got John Doe. And the reason why I have 2 emails attached is because both people are purchasing this home together. They both want to be able to make decisions on properties being sent their way. So by adding both of those emails, both people are going to get an email to invite them to create their One Home account where they'd be able to view all the properties that I am sending them via Matrix. Now you can choose to CC yourself or BCC yourself on all the emails to know when your clients are getting those emails, but that is going to put a lot of emails potentially in your inbox. So at the end of this, I will show you a different section where you can see how many emails are going to your clients and what is being sent to them. The other option you have here is send a link via SMS text message. This is a feature with One Home. As you can see, if you select this box, it's going to say you cannot send to somebody because they have not opted in. All you have to do there is click send opt-in notice. Your client is going to get an email telling them to opt in if they would like to receive the link to review those new properties to their mobile device as opposed to via email. So something to keep in mind there. It's not going to prevent you from moving on, but you will want to remind your client to opt in order to receive text messages in the future if they want to. So the next section here is the message section. So you're going to want to label this as descriptively as possible. So maybe we're going to say Kakaako 1 mil 2-bed plus 2 to 4 bath or something along those lines, right? Whatever is going to be descriptive for both you and the client. The next section down here is this welcome email section, okay? Here's where you have the opportunity to customize this message either on an individual basis or overall as a default message. Maybe you want to add in, please let me know if you have any additional questions or if you would like to schedule a time to discuss these listings over coffee, right? Maybe part of your service plan that you offer to your clients is the ability to go over all this information over coffee. If this is something with this modified message that you want as your template moving forward, you have this option in the bottom right hand corner with this little gear icon. If you click on it, just set that current message as your default welcome email text, and then every time you send a welcome email for auto emails moving forward, this will be your message. If this is a mistake, you can always reset to the system default text, which is what we saw earlier. And the same can be done for your recurring email. So the recurring email is after that initial welcome email is sent, anytime a new listing matching the criteria comes onto the system or any updates to listings that your client is still actively looking at that come up will be sent in this email. Now I realize that this section here is blank. However, there is an auto-generated message that does pop up. I will pop it up for you either on this side or this side. I'm not sure yet, but I'll pop it up for you so you guys can see what that looks like. You can again modify this message here and then under that right side set as that reoccurring email text moving forward. So those are some options with the messaging that you guys can set up. You also can review the criteria again, and then you have these settings options. So concierge mode. What concierge mode is essentially a quality control version of auto email. And what I mean by that is when you set up this criteria, you're going to be the one that essentially receives that first notification that criteria match. And then it's going to be your responsibility to go into the system, review those properties, and choose to send them to the client or not send them to the client. Okay, the important factor here is that unless you go in and approve properties, your client is not going to receive anything. So some agents like to use this if they know that their client has very specific tastes and they want to ensure that properties that are going to their client will be properties that their client is actually interested in. What Matrix does is it's only going to pull properties that match the criteria you've given. It's not going to really have that humanizing touch of really looking at the property and seeing if it's a good fit for the client for any reasons that aren't searchable fields within Matrix. Show this contact and reverse prospecting results. What that's going to do for you is it's going to allow listing agents to see if your client has received this property or their property in an automatic email or an auto email in the past. It's not going to say who the client is specifically, but it is going to be tied to your name as the agent, and they're going to have your contact information. What they'll have from your client is the client ID number that you're going to be able to use to look up in your contacts to see who actually received that auto email, that property in their auto email. And then enable as a favorite search on Home tab. So it's just to keep it top of mind, allow the auto email to show up as one of your top 10 favorite searches in your favorite searches widget. Now schedule, this is the last thing that you're going to want to consider, which is how frequently your client is receiving these auto emails from you, right? And this is where your expertise as the market expert is going to come into play, right? So things to consider are how frequently are things moving in the area, how interested is your client in putting an offer in, how fast things sell after they've been on the market, right? So an example, maybe your client is looking for property in an area where properties don't come up that often, and when they do, they are sold very quickly. That might be an option where ASAP is the best schedule for your client. Now, if this is an area where new properties are coming onto the market all the time and your client is just looking, not really looking to buy right away, ASAP may not be the right option here, right? Maybe coming up with a daily schedule would be a better option in that sense, because then you can say, do I want it to send every day? Do I want it to send every other day? Do I want it to send only once a week on any of these days, right? And AM and PM, the difference between these two. AM is going to send any properties that match the criteria you've set out in the MLS as of 8 a.m. PM is going to send anything that has gone or that matches the criteria of your auto email as of 6 p.m. So what this means is if you say AM and PM, the system is going to generate an auto email as of 8 a.m. for any properties that came on the market new or have updated since that last one sent Friday at 8 a.m. So there will be a whole 24 hours of data being populated there. The other example here is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. is going to be that time frame, whatever came onto the market since then. Now, the other important thing here, and again, you being the market expert can help with setting expectations. If you know that this area does not have that much activity with new listings hitting the market, even if you do say, send an email every day to my client when something new happens, if there's nothing to send, your client is not going to receive an auto email. So it's very important that you set those expectations so they don't think that you're not sending anything. And then lastly, you have that monthly options. So it's going to send one email for all properties that match on the first of the month at midnight to your client. So those are the different options that you have. From there, you're going to click that save button, and that's going to generate your auto email for you. And we're down to the final tricks that I told you I would provide to you today. So that first one is where you can see emails sent on your behalf. So if you go to My Matrix and then you scroll down to the Sent Email section, this is where you guys are going to be able to see all of the emails sent on your behalf from Matrix. You're going to see the time Matrix sent it, who it was sent to, the type of email, whether it was an auto email or a direct email, the subject line, and then whether your client has viewed it. And with these original emails, you can click on them to actually review the properties that were sent to your client. So that is an option and a little tip for you guys to utilize so that you don't have to continue to fill your inbox with CC'd auto emails. The other trick I want to share with you is actually going to be helpful, especially with regards to this recent One Home Visitors widget. So you may want to set yourself up with portal notifications, especially if you're not logging in to Matrix every day. How you can do this, in the top right hand corner where you're going to see working as in your name, you're going to click on that and then you're going to go to your settings. In this section, you're going to have a portal notification settings that has that bell icon. You're going to want to click on that. And this is where you can say, notify me via email ASAP, or send me a text, or just give me one daily summary. And you're able to select these different things. Okay. If you want to add a cell phone number, this is where you would click here to edit your cell information and add your information in there. And then once you're done, you would just click save. So this is a good notification setting to have set up. You don't necessarily have to do it if you're always logging into Matrix, because you are going to see those icons on the Matrix dashboard. However, for those of you who want to get those notifications instantaneously on your phone, using that portal notification setting wouldn't be a problem. And that is going to conclude today's session of creating an auto email. In part 2, we're going to go ahead and cover how to manage an auto email and interact with your clients between Matrix and One Home. And then we'll touch on how to create and manage concierge mode. So see you back here again soon. Bye.